Hi, and you're welcome to Bible Reading Culture. My name is Ophelia Boma, and you're welcome to day 22, Jewel 2 of Bible Reading Culture. So we started with day 1 on Proverbs chapter 1, and we are reading the book of Proverbs till Proverbs 31. So we are on the day 22. If you have missed, no worries, the videos are still there. You can go and watch these videos and equip your life. So why Bible Reading Culture? Bible Reading Culture is a platform that encourages other Christian believers to read their Bible every day, because we know that if we read the Bible, that is the way God can speak to us. That is the way the Holy Spirit can be connected to us, to guide us, to groom us, to nurture us, and to empower us to be His children. By this way, we are sure never to make a mistake. We are sure never to make a decision that is against the will of God. And so this Bible Reading Culture is here to help you to navigate through your Christian life. I would normally share a reflection, okay? Because reflection allows you to dive deeper, to travel deeper into your own life, to see your do's and don'ts, your rights and wrongs, your good and bad, and accept yourself and work through your weaknesses. Because Bible Reading Culture, there's no judgment here. We only empathize, we only love, we only encourage and help you gain back your spiritual life. And when you gain it back, we help you to also make it stronger. Because when you become a baby, you are fed with milk. But when you become an adult, you feed what's on solid food. So that is what Bible Reading Culture is all about. And today's reflection is righteousness is of the Lord, or to become a child of God is by the grace of God. I'm sharing this story because it is very personal and I relate so much with this. First of all, I was born in a Christian home. I am my twin sister, and we just grew up seeing that our father was a pastor, our mother was a chorus leader, an evangelist, also preaching the word through evangelism in the community, sometimes very, very far from our town. And we grew up also leading morning devotion, praying, reading the Bible, singing, practicing all kinds of religious activities at home. Because definitely if you are born by two Christian parents, it means that you would be nurtured and groomed and trained according to the way of the Lord. And so we learn how to read the Bible, understand the Bible, to interpret the Bible at a very young age. But I would say we were not born again, even though we knew what right was and what wrong was. As we're growing up into our teenage years, we started dancing. Like we just we just connected to music, and anytime we heard music we would dance. And because our home was a happy home, we played music and we danced. My dad would just watch us dance and he'd be happy. My parents would just encourage us to keep dancing, and because they wanted us to be happy, because we were very, very happy kids and we were less troublesome kids or naughty kids at home. As we aged and we started making friends, they started inviting us for programs out there. Even though we're Christians, we went to Muslim weddings like Aure. We had Muslim friends when they had naming ceremony like Suna, passing out, birthday parties. We were there. Everywhere in the town was flooded by the twins because we were displaying everywhere. The dancing skills were when God gives you something, you don't sweat for it. You may have to practice a lot of times to perfect it, but the creativity just pours into you. We have never really said we are learning how to dance. We just dance what is in our heart, because dancing is a connectivity. I would say the way we danced in those days was more like dance with a purpose in Ghana, like Endurance and her group. That was more of the dance we did back then. Because my parents were Christians, people were like, oh, these kids, oh, they are spoiled. Look at them dancing here, dancing at Muslim programs, dancing at unbelievers programs. You've allowed your kids to be out there and they are spoiling and they are bad girls. Meanwhile, all those days, we didn't even have a boyfriend. Like, we didn't even know what a boyfriend was. We were just having fun. Because you know what? My mom was a very good dancer when she was also a teenager. And my grandfather was a chief priest. And he was always invited for big festivities or festivals or derbas or programs. In those days, my mom would say there were selected few of girls, because I come from a very, very big extended family, because my grandfather had many wives. And so you can imagine the whole house. My mom would say the whole house had about 7 gates. Imagine one house having about 7 gates. And so she said when there were big programs, few girls in the house were selected, and she was part of the girls that were selected to go and dance and grace the program or the event. And so she understood that these my girls have taken after me to dance. I'm talking about dancing and being paid money and being given gifts, and then being always called every time to come and grace a program. That is how good we are at dancing. But because of the church and my parents, status quo in the church and also in the society, it was more of an abomination. My mom tried, I would say my parents tried so hard to always keep us at home. But before they realized, we would always make our way to these programs because it was so fun to dance, to have fun, right? So there was news all over the town. These girls are spoiled. And one time I remember this, is it Ghana Health Service, had this big awareness program on malaria. In those days, they used to come with a very long truck with some celebrities like Lord Kenya and the rest, and they'll just be moving from one town to the other, just advocating on how to prevent malaria or malaria prevention. I mean, we were so tiny, I'm telling you. And so up on the track, I think Lord Kenya called some dancing competition, and I lift up my hands. My sister also did. We were about seven of us that climbed on the track to dance. At the end of the day, I and my sister, we won the prize. What did we win? Mosquito net, t-shirts, and mosquito spray, like all of those things. And before we got home, news had got into the house that you, pastor, this, pastor, that you have allowed your kids to go and dance worldly programs. I think we really just gave our parents a hard time. We were just kids having fun, but they were like, you are a pastor, you are a woman of God, and you are allowing your children to do this, to do that. Oh my God, it was a tough time. And so before we got home, my mother was already angry. And do you know how it is when you belong to a religious group that is so controlling, that doesn't allow for a gray area, that doesn't really have expansion of knowledge to understand personality, because we had the sanguine personality and we are Scorpios, 2nd November borns. You can imagine. But those days the church was just strict on this, on that, on that. And my mother was like, bring all your gifts. My mom took all the gifts. One day we went to school and came back. She had given all the gifts outside to people. She was like, you cannot bring this gift in this house. It's not good. It's abomination. To punish us not to do that again. But it didn't work because we would still always go out. When we went to the senior high school, it was the same, because in the senior high school, it was also a different thing altogether, because by then we were now young teenagers and we were in a different environment where our eyes were already open back at home. Like when others didn't know how to socialize, we were already socializing because our confidence is back from home. Our self-esteem is it's too good for our own liking. And so we were all over the place, all over campus. People were like, these girls, they are really seen. And we used to dress so good, like I still dress today. Those days when people didn't know what sneaker was, we were already wearing sneakers because my mom was a businesswoman. So anytime she traveled, she'll buy us very, very nice sneakers. The Adidas, the Nike, and all of those things. So we were dressing real good, like I said. My mom, as an entrepreneur, we were well fed. Okay, well fed. And so there was always trouble at school, because when my school had something like variety show, or maybe It Takes Two, or debates, come on, a sanguine will not sit to listen to this. My personality cannot sit to listen to this. And so I and my sister, we would just, with our friends, we would just dodge and go to a nearby school. We'll go and dance, 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 dance. I don't know why dancing was changing. Oh, what is it about dancing? We just go and dance and sweat it out and come back before we realize tomorrow we are called. We are being called in the headmaster's office. Come and answer questions. Or house mistress will call us. Yesterday, you people, you went out, you did this, they'll punish us. So that actually made us famous in school. We went viral. Those days, it wasn't viral, it was popular. They said these girls are popular, these twins are popular. And so I think when I got to my third year, right, I think we did the 4 years, yeah. So when I got to my third year, I had a boyfriend here. And so my boyfriend used to also know how to dance so good. So you can imagine, at the end of the day, we were just known as bad girls. Whatever happened, some people even send news to my mother that your kids, before they come home, they'll be pregnant, they are not born again, and a what, and a blah, blah, blah. Hey, what didn't they say about I and my twin sister, how spoiled we were, and all of those things? Meanwhile, you didn't know what was in our heart with God, okay? And it's true, like I said, we were not born again. Even though we knew how to do right and wrong back at home and go to church, it was religious, but we didn't have that connection of really knowing God. It was in our 4th year when we were about to write our BEC that my twin sister, through the help of a trainee teacher who came to our school, led her personally to Christ, and she also pulled me along. So when that happened, we stopped dancing. I broke up with my boyfriend right even on campus before I left school, and we just changed into a new leaf. So we didn't like to dance, we didn't like to go to these programs, we didn't like to go to other schools. We were just more of knowing God, being prayerful, reading our books, and passing our exam. We did that, wrote our WASI, passed our exam so good, chef case. And one of my father's friends was so happy, he gave us money to go and buy our university forms. Because by then we're totally born again. And so God started to do great things in our lives. So when we bought the university forms, I think we bought it around September. We bought the form September. And then by September 21st, we had admission and we're supposed to rush to the university. At 18, 19 years, university, we've never even left home. We've never left home more than 2 hours journey. More than 2 hours journey. We never left home more than 2 hours journey. And now you are going all the way, like 10, 12 hours from home with no parental guidance, just you in the university and your twin sister. And God really took us there, led us on, and helped us and equipped us, empowered us. Now we were the ones praying, doing dawn broadcasting, preaching, evangelizing, bringing people to Christ, doing the work of God. We're partakers in the campus ministry church. And you know, even when we go to the campus ministry church, some Krifi brothers still thought that we were not born again because of how free and how open we were. Because my mom always taught us to serve God in our identity. She says, if you know Christ for yourself and you serve God for yourself, you will understand each other more. So we never knew what it is to please people, to be in a certain way, to fit in a certain status quo. No. So because we were ourselves, people still thought, you cannot be a Christian and dress this way. You cannot be a Christian and you do this way. You cannot be a Christian. Even we're jogging. And then one brother said, no, as Christian sisters, you are not supposed to jog. Hey, brother. He said, yeah, as a Christian sister, you shouldn't jog. Jogging because you wear trousers and jog. We're like, oh, really? Come on. No, please. And it was always a big clash, like them trying to groom you in a certain way that was really difficult for us to pretend to live like that. And we were being compared to other sisters. Even back at home, they compare us to this sister. Look at this sister, look at this sister. Be like her. She is the identity of Christ. Today, as I'm speaking to you, those sisters are nowhere nearer God. They have made their own decision. They have swayed. They have decided whatever they want. And why am I even saying this? The reflection is that righteousness is of the Lord, and being a child of God is by the grace of God. When leaders are in their top positions, the best way to support other people is to, number one, stop comparison. Comparing them to other people's children, because they compared my mother's children as to other pastors' children. They'll say, look at, can't you be like this pastor's son? Can't you be like this pastor's daughter? Comparing us here and there. And my mother will always feel bad, because she will always say, leave them, they are my children. If they are bad for me and my God. Because she didn't know what else to explain herself. She always said, they are yet kids and they are growing up. When they grow up, they will change. Because when you're growing up, she herself, she understands, because she was a dancer herself and she understood us. Right? So when you're in a top position, please do not compare. Do not compare other people's children. Do not make their parents feel sad or bad, or thinking that they are not raising their children well. That is so sad. Number two, encourage people. Do not talk down or belittle them, because you do not know the plans of God for their life. You should understand that what God has for some people, it is a long rope to pull. Okay, if you think that you are perfect and whatever, all your perfection is still filthy rags in the eye of God. And so you don't have to condemn, belittle, and judge other people who are still navigating their way through Christ. And I say this because I know the church I belong, and I know the judgment. Like, we have been brought up to just judge people to feel better. We have been brought up to see people's wrong than their efforts in always showing up for God. There are some people that will struggle until they find their way. And you should know that there are monsters that they struggle with, not just the church doctrine or the rules of the church or the standards of the church. These are people who have personality issues. If I may say, I'm a clinical psychologist, I know that I have some ADHD features. And so ADHD features plus being a sanguine, plus being a Scorpio, I'm telling you, I take up space. All right, I take up space if you allow me, and I am myself. I have no fear. We are the people who don't fear ish. You tell us don't go here, and we want to go there. So you can imagine this personality. You can only navigate these personalities as you grow and you mature, and you make your own mistakes, and you correct and you learn lessons from them. The third thing I would like to say is that pray for people you think are not born again, or you think, oh, they are not they are not God's children. Everyone is God's child. There's not one of us who is created by the devil. Even the devil, God created it. So before you chastise, okay, not chastise, before you negatively criticize and condemn somebody, you have to know that you attract the same condemnation. Okay, because Job said, what I am most fearful about has fallen on me. Before you castigate people, you should know that the same thing can be applied to you, or you can find yourself in the same situation. So pray, and pray without ceasing for people you think are not right with God, because you can never tell the relationship they have with God. And I can tell you that through all those times, the dreams and revelations I used to have, you don't know. You don't know. Some people, God just created them to come to this world to do something. You dare not cross their path. Okay? You dare not speak against them, because they are the anointed ones. Not the pastors you see on the pulpit who wear the suit, who hold the microphone. Renew your minds, because God's anointed people are some of the lay people you don't respect. They are the ones that will carry the promise of God till the end. They are the ones that God will use. Like he says, he uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. So you can never tell who is for God, who is against God, who God is using, who God is not using, who God is preparing or who God is not preparing, and who is God's friend or who is God's child. Because he says what? You are the apple of my eye. And imagine anyone trying to chew God's eye. So those days I can boldly say that I am the apple of God's eye. And all those negative words that people used to say about I and my sister, they were just speaking against God, but they didn't know. Because today, look at me, with humility. I am a child of God, spreading the word of God like never before. My twin sister is also the same. We are living good life, happy lives, content life with great gain, serving God with all of our hearts, all of our appearance, our intelligence, our beauty, our maturity. In our marriage, we are serving God. We give birth and we introduce them to Christ and they'll serve God. So our children's children are going to serve God. That is the promise. And we are the children of God and we are the anointed ones. So you need to understand that this world, before you open your mouth to judge A, B, C, ask yourself, do I have the whole story? Do I know the whole truth? Have I spoken to this person? Do I understand them? Am I even a friend to them? If you're not a friend, just zip your mouth. Because the Bible talks about what? Bridle your tongue. Bridle your tongue. Shut up. Keep quiet. Don't talk about things you don't know. Because you could be stepping on the foot of God. You can remember Moses, Miriam, and Aaron. If you gossip about somebody, just know that karma is just on the side. That God can just punish you, strike you by speaking against a child of God, a woman of God, or a man of God. Do fearsome. Always be observant. The Bible says what? If you try to pluck a dust from someone's eyes, you should first look into your own eyes. Am I all right? Am I okay? Because I can't leave the dust in my eye and try to pluck the dust from someone's eye. You need to work your salvation with fear and trembling. That day, God is not going to ask, how was Boma preaching the word? God is going to ask about you. You. Did you walk in faith, in truth? Did you do the works of God? Did you feed the flock? Did you visit me when I was in prison? Did you give me food when I was hungry? Those are the questions God is going to ask you. Not about Boma, not about Bono, not about your pastor, not about your chorister you think was sleeping all around. So with humility, I would say, I would wish that you mind your business most of the time and pray for people you think are misleading in God's way. It's only by your prayers that God can bring them back. I would say my mom's prayers stood best. My father's prayers stood best in bringing us to Christ. Because there's great gain worshiping God. Now let's read our Bible, okay? Proverbs chapter 22, verses 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. The rich and poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself by the simple person, and are punished. By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward. He that do keep his soul shall be far from them. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. He that hath bountiful eye shall be blessed. He giveth of his bread to the poor. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. Yea, strife and reproach shall be ceased. He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. The eye of the Lord preserve knowledge, and he overthroweth the words of the transgressor. The slothful man saith, there is a lion without, I shall be slain in the streets. The mouth of the strange woman is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall strive it far from it. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Bow down thine ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart to my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. They shall withal be fitted in thy lips. That thy trust may be in the Lord. I have made known to this day, even to thee. Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsel and knowledge, that I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that sent unto thee? Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord shall plead their cause, and spoil the soul of those that spoileth them. Make no friendship with the angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare of thy soul. Be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debt. If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee? Remove not the ancient landmark which the fathers have set thee. Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men. This is my favorite verse. Seest a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men. All right. So thank you so much for joining today's Bible reading culture. This reading is from the King James Bible version. Glory be to God, and have a good day. Bye.